Hello, hello, Gemini, welcome. I'm not feeling as intense of a vibe as I felt last month. You guys know, right? Last month was legit. It was deep. Still a little bit of that going on. And I think you're feeling the buildup of the Mercury retrograde. You're like, okay, I'm ready. Bring it on. Let's do this. And I think it's not going to be really that big a deal. Not compared to everything you've been going through. Please, Mercury retrograde is easy peasy. Yeah, Pisces, card of Pisces, Pisces season. Sun connects with Neptune, ruler of Pisces. We're all just hanging out. I think that's true across the board, right? We're all just hanging out. Just seeing how it unfolds, seeing what happens, seeing how people respond, seeing what actually manifests into reality, seeing this, seeing that. Let's just wait and see. Let's let things get into perspective. Let's allow things to become more clear. Let's stop throwing things at the wall and start seeing what actually sticks. There's a beautiful energy of calm because you've been forced to be calm. I think it's not something that you guys actually get a lot of credit for. It kind of frustrates me a lot when I see certain stereotypes about the signs where I'm like, man, I get why that's a stereotype, but when phases become stereotypes, that bothers me. I know you have the energy when you need it. I know you have the mental agility when you need it, but you also have the ability to be incredibly peaceful when you need it and silent when you need it. So something happened, something went down. Maybe something romantic converted into something more practical. Maybe some of you were friend-zoned. Maybe you friend-zoned someone else. Maybe there was a breakdown in communication, or will be. It is still a Mercury retrograde, but it's not that big a deal. But there was definitely a paradigm shift, or will be a paradigm shift. And what you once saw as one thing, you may see as something different. When you look at something from the bottom up, it looks at it a lot different than when you look at it from the top down. So, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Very few things in this life are worth any stress or any worry. And if it is in fact a romantic partnership, which we do see with the Two of Cups, if it is in fact a romantic partnership or a professional partnership, or some kind of a team thing, life goes on, and you find new life somewhere else, within yourself, with other people, in different places. Hopefully, the Two of Cups isn't too intense for you. There could be an issue with your duality, right? I can't ignore that. The masculine and feminine. I'm talking to Gemini, so I got to put this into you as well. Maybe one side of you is all on one thing and the other side is on a whole different dialogue and narrative, and you're weighing the pros and cons, and maybe you yourself are feeling torn. Maybe you yourself are feeling discombobulated. 3 others that fell out. Well, there's the duality, the black and white. So it's getting a little out of control. This side is saying that side's saying that. Okay, that's manageable though. Because you are a thought-based sign, you more than most should be able to understand how to separate yourself from those thoughts. Those thoughts that absolutely do not form your identity. And right now, you may be feeling a little out of control. of yourself. It's really important. This is why that's why the universe is pulling on the reins here right now, okay, with the Hanged Man. The reason for that is because you're needing to learn more faith. And I know that you have had substantial lessons in faith recently. Substantial lessons in throwing up your arms, throwing up your hands and saying, okay, universe, I know you got this. I'm not stressing. I know you got this. But I think there's another level. There's another level of fearlessness. It's the onion, right? Peeling that onion. It's the next level of fearless. And some of you, I think, are resisting that fearlessness. The ego comes in. That's fine. Whenever this card comes out reversed, the ego comes in. This is a card of Cancer. The Cancerian crab shell is winning. The vulnerability is not winning. So the more rigid you are, the more challenging this Sun-Neptune transit is going to be. The more challenging this Mercury retrograde is going to be, and this Mars going through the 12th house back there. Right? As someone who has Mars natally in the 12th house, I can attest at how active your imagination probably is. And also I have a Mercury in 12th house, so the Mercury in Pisces, same kind of deal. So, there's like dream states and high-level imagination and extremely vivid and lucid dreams. And the one thing that I would really recommend is holding off on assigning meaning to things if you can. Even synchronicities, just acknowledge the synchronicities, but I wouldn't lock yourself into this must mean that. Because there's a delusionary quality to all this stuff going on. So to be as realistic and to be as grounded as possible is important. Humility is the number one priority. There might not be a lot of mobility this month. Okay, yes, because it's not just you, right? Yes, there's stuff going on internally, but likely this is happening with someone else as well, or multiple people, where there is a little bit of drama, where there are arguments, and it's petty stuff. Five of Wands is always so ridiculous, but somehow, sometimes we do need to just go there. Sometimes we do. As much as I would like to think that we're all these nice little Buddhas walking around, so peaceful and namaste, I know that that's not the case. And sometimes certain things are going to need to be said. Certain things are going to need to be done. But like I said, be careful that you're not assigning a lot of meaning to anything, especially when it comes to what someone else says or what someone else does. You need to understand that this Neptune Sun thing that's happening for everybody can seriously mess someone up. Like I remember myself last year in Pisces season, like not only was I extremely sleepy, which is really common with Neptune and Pluto stuff, or specifically Neptune, but I was also just like, where is this going? What am I doing? And I have a feeling that working our way up to that, we're technically conjunct now. It's going to get stronger over the next week. People are really questioning their life paths right now. It's an existential crises time. And when people go through these existential crises, mini ones, right? Little ones, not long-standing ones, like a midlife crisis when someone turns 40 and they go through a Neptune square, but when it's like a few days, they can get really testy. And they can really try to stand up for themselves and everything they know is right and everything they believe and rah, rah, rah. And they get all like worked up in their own world. They just don't know. Compassion is really important. Seeing things from where they're coming from and not just seeing like their side of the argument, but even looking further past that and saying, why do they even have that particular belief or that particular side for the argument anyway? Like, what was their childhood like? What was their ex relationship like? What was their relationship with their father like, or whatever the whole thing is? Looking so much deeper I think I say this all the time. I don't know if I've said it to you guys yet. Probably I have. But a few years ago when I was on Facebook, I don't even remember who the person was, if I'm being honest, but they posted something that really stuck up here. And it said something to the effect of, I can never get, or like the more and more I learn about psychology, the less and less angry I can get at somebody. Because it's you look so far back. And even spiritually, you can connect kind of like, well, they obviously came in here with some kind of karma that they're needing to deal with, and they're need to learn how to escape from. And unfortunately, they don't see that. They don't know that. They're not educated in that. And so they take it out on people. They try to assert themselves and try to establish the teensiest little bit of power over people. Slow and steady wins the race here. Calm, cool, and collected. You're not jumping to any conclusions. You're not making any assumptions, and you're absolutely not making any judgments whatsoever. Judgments will get you into trouble, and they'll get other people into trouble. Judgments are what makes this stuff happen. Judgments and preconceived notions. No one really knows. No one really knows. And this is someone that thinks before they speak. This is someone that doesn't get all caught up in anything, literally turning their back on the Five of Wands. I think they still allow the Five of Wands to happen. They're not trying to stop it. They're not trying to stop anyone, and they're not trying to convince anyone of anything. But there may be a period of reconsideration of like, is this really what I want in my life? And what really needs to be done to get this out of my life? It's very pensive. It's stoic. It's logical, but also intuitive at the same time. And the question on your mind might be, how can I really be my best? How can I really be my best? Why do I get this feeling that your silence and non-response is really getting under people's skin? And your maturity is bringing out their immaturity. And some of you there may be romantic stuff on the line. There may be major business or major agreements or major clients that's on the line. And I have this feeling you are literally ready to walk away because there's that question, is it worth it? I only have a limited number of minutes and hours and days on this planet. Is it worth it? Getting a couple cards, actually 3 cards here. I'm going to pull one out of the deck. Communication is light. It is open, probably will be annoying for other people. Hey, what's up? It's not very deep conversation here, okay? I don't think that's a good idea, To be honest, I don't know that people can handle the depth because there's so much depth going on and there's not enough time for processing. So to try to get really deep and existential with someone could be somewhat problematic if they're not as self-examined as you are. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, actually, the light communication is probably for the best, even if that kind of pisses them off. I just don't know that they can handle more than that. Because if you go deep and you start talking about belief systems and you start challenging theirs, they're not going to handle it well. They're not going to be that open-minded. Because they're trying to cling to their structure. You, 8th house Pluto, you're changing. You're transforming. from the core, right? From the deepest, darkest depths of your psyche, that's where that stuff is happening for you guys. Other people, not so much. Some people it's happening in their career stuff, or it's happening in their money stuff. It's not as intense. So if you try to get dark and deep and intense with someone, you could prod the fire a little bit, poke the fire, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. See, what's the other card that came out? Justice. And I'll put the camera down in a minute, like I always do. There is a beautiful vibe of letting the universe handle it, letting the universe do the dirty work. That's one thing that I think man, the arrogance of man to bring upon justice upon people. Life does it itself. It doesn't like imbalance. It doesn't like it when it's all askew. It always resurfaces. It always brings things back. And you need to be careful of your own stuff. Because if you are contemplating maybe moving away, walking away, making a major change, and you decide to stay because you don't want to hurt someone else, that imbalance is getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. So the adjustment is going to be that much more dramatic. Do you see? This is a card of adjustment. And some adjustments are really small and subtle. Others are more like this. Clearly, the Ten of Swords is a big deal. Ten of Swords is a card that suggests that something is over. Your mind cannot handle it anymore. And when it's reversed, it suggests that there's maybe even a level of boredom with the whole thing. Boredom with the Five of Wands, maybe even boredom with the Two of Cups reversed, boredom with the stagnation, boredom with this phase, this era of your life. Page of Swords suggests, I'm open to whatever. I'm open to whatever. I'm open to any kind of change. Bring it on, universe. Let's play a game. Ten of Swords reversed. It's starting to alleviate the energetic blockages in that chakra system of yours. Clearing out the heart. Clearing out your third chakra, right? Or your third chakra, your solar plexus, which is all about courage. I actually even love the yellow color here in the very center of the reading. King of Wands. Is it your energy? Someone else, maybe. Let's just keep it open. I'll pull clarifiers. This is a card of Leo. Could be Aries, Sagittarius as well. They don't have to be that specific sign. Just FYI, we're getting a card of Pisces, Virgo, Cancer, and Libra. And also Leo. So just FYI on that. Could be anybody. Could be Capricorn, Scorpio, whatever. Doesn't matter. This is a big picture kind of person. There's a readiness to act at any moment. But there is a feeling of being complete. Like when you look at the salamander on the throne there, right there, you can see the circle nature where the tail connects with the mouth, indicating completion. That this is a soul, or this is an energy, or this is a time, right? Makes sense, finishing out the 12 months or the 12 zodiac signs with Pisces season. So you are reaching some kind of a turnover. And what I love about this is that this person is not dwelling in the past at all. Not thinking about it, not thinking about anything really. What is actually happening is he's allowing inspiration to come through him. He's allowing life to be his muse. So if you let the universe deal with the justice, you can then focus on creation, whatever it is you're wanting to create. You can focus on the moment, finding pleasure in your life, finding joy, finding simplicity in your life, finding a way to really express yourself. Luckily, this is a mature quality, and I think self-expression, in spite of the Mercury retrograde, will be mature. Even if it's just high level and simple, it will still be mature. I know this is annoying, but you guys will be on a different level than most people. So let's go ahead and put the camera down. Okay. Let me turn this around. Just give me 1 second. Okay, now what I've been doing is I've been pulling from a new deck that I bought. This is a very famous deck. Oh, okay. Well, I wasn't going to want to pull that many, but apparently that many wanted to come out, so we'll take them. It's called the Thoth deck. Thoth, however you want to pronounce it. And we'll just go over these lightly. You get 6 extra. Okay. So we get the five of coins, card of worry, Queen of Swords, which is clearly you, Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, 8 of Wands, and the Empress. So these 3 energies representing absolute femininity. Okay, I'm not going to hold all these up, but absolute femininity. And yet with the masculine polarities of air and fire. Mixture of both. Mixture of the mind, which is your realm, the intellect, and the passion. So when you combine femininity, intellect, and passion, you essentially have an unstoppable force, which is why the Empress is here. She is the epitome of all creation and all creative energies. I'm sensing a substantial sex drive. A strong sex drive. Mars in the 12th house, yeah, makes sense. In Taurus, makes sense. And I feel like things in your life are starting to change rapidly. And that's the story for the year, really, is change. Saturn connecting with Pluto in Capricorn. What can I say? We're letting go of the old. And the more able you are of releasing this 5 of coins, releasing your worry, releasing your feeling of anguish and grief, your feelings of sadness, because I have this feeling there is a vibe of scarcity and lack coming through with whatever connection you're dealing with. You're either underappreciated, or maybe you are just over it, right? 10 of Swords, you're just over it. You're feeling the weight of something that isn't even real. A lot of projections in the future contribute to this. You may be even a little bit worried that you don't have control over what's coming, but is mutable air. Like, it's like, what? Gemini should never worry about that, ever. Here's 8 of Wands connected with Sagittarius and Mercurial energy. Swiftness with a rainbow toward absolute peace. So whatever opportunities arise, Ace of Wands, for you, take them, say yes, and allow beautiful things to unfold. 8 of Wands. There is no reason to be afraid. The only thing you have to lose, 10 of Swords and 5 of Wands. I feel like freedom is a thing. A desire or a need for freedom. And for those of you who are not breaking up with anybody, you may simply find new levels of freedom and new realms of freedom within the relationship. You'll feel less stifled, you'll feel less obligated, and you'll feel a lot less responsibility for the well-being of the other person's ego and personality. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Hanged Man and clarify this. So these cards, I go much more into detail in the comprehensive reading, just to kind of give you an idea of what comes out that we'll be talking about. So we get the Star, Nine of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Same thing, right? Let's look at the Five of Wands. Oh, okay. Five of Wands. I'm wondering if someone is going to try to self-sabotage a little bit. Got a lot of good stuff going on, and yet somehow they want to throw it back in someone's face. Yeah, that's a big deal. Five of Wands is a big deal. Probably brought on by Sun, Neptune. Okay, and probably as Venus comes into Aquarius as well. So, and Uranus making its way into Taurus. Actually, a lot of little things happening this month. Okay. I think some of you really just don't see where, whatever a specific path is, you just don't see where it could be or where it could go. Six of Coins, clarifying the Two of Cups reversed. What happens when everything you think you wanted isn't exactly doing the trick? Beautiful things come out of that Two of Cups reversed, by the way. Ace of Cups, amazing. An opportunity for renewal. Okay, let's look at the Page of Swords. Ah, okay, yeah. A lot more to be discussed under that Page of Swords, right? It could be a very simple facade, but there is a lot of depth there. That's why I'm saying, like, it's actually not a bad thing that you are keeping it high level, because it opens the door and it gives someone comfort. For the Knight of Coins, High Priestess. Okay, let's look at Justice. A lot of Court card energy coming through. I think someone, Page of Swords coming out again. I feel like someone's kind of got one foot in, one foot out. Or they're going to threaten that. They're going to play that card. It's not going to be scary, though. A lot of empty threats, I think, going on around here. Beautiful Ace of Wands coming out with the Ace of Coins, suggesting substantial new opportunities. A lot of aces, Ace of Cups as well. Another Ace of Wands. Out of every seeming hardship, there comes a beautiful new beginning. Queen of Swords coming out twice. Amazing. And swiftness. Another Five of Coins. Another King of Wands. Okay, so this is where we'll pick up. I know there's tons and tons of cards. I do go into detail. I do talk about each and every one of them in the comprehensive. So if you do want to join me there, you are absolutely welcome. But if not, then I will see you next month. All right? Thank you guys so much. Take care. Bye-bye.